Welcome to the Cherry Purls podcast. This is going to be episode 85. And we are a knitting and spinning podcast. We are coming to you every other week just about from outside New Orleans, Louisiana. And we are super happy that you're here with us today. We're going to talk about some knitting and recap the Houston Fiber Fest, which we just got back from. We also just got back from a family trip to Denver where some yarn was purchased and some yarn stores were infiltrated. But we're going to recap that on the next episode.
Infiltrated?
Infiltrated, because we're spies. We're yarn store.
I wasn't sneaky.
No, we were blatantly obvious. We were there to acquire yarn.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about Houston this episode and then our Denver trip the next episode. So this episode isn't like 3 hours long. So I am Robin.
I'm Mary.
I almost said I'm Mary, but I am Robin. You can find me as Teenybutton on Instagram and Ravelry, and my shop is Teenybutton Studio, where I sell hand-dyed yarn.
And I am Snip and Full on Ravelry, and on Instagram, I am Cherry Purls Mary.
And we have a podcast group. It's going to be linked down below, and that's where you can find the show notes as well as links to everything that we're going to talk about in this episode. So yeah, we have, real quick, an upcoming show. We are going to be at the Super Summer Knit Together in Nashville, Tennessee. That is going to be July 18th through the 22nd. It is for attendees, retreat attendees only, except for that Saturday, the 21st. So we're going to be vending in the marketplace. So if you'd like to see us and you are in the Nashville area or in the surrounding vicinity, please.
You feel like driving to Nashville?
Yeah, please come and say hi. I don't know if we have booth numbers yet. I think it's so small there's not really numbers, but
I have no clue.
We'll be there. Just come and find us.
Yeah, we've never been before.
Yeah.
We're excited to go, but we really don't know how the setup is in terms of the sales floor.
Yeah, but I'm really excited. We signed up for our classes. We signed up for our breakout sessions.
What class are you taking?
The Stranded Colorwork class with I want to say Isabel Kramer or Kristen Kapoor. I think it's Kristen Kapoor. I think it's her Trillium Mitts pattern. I think. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But I'm excited. I'm going to learn some color work because I don't do color very well. So
yeah, so I'm not a fan.
But you're doing the
set-in sleeve class.
Sleeve class. Okay, cool.
Yeah, for sweaters.
Yeah, cool beans. So if you're going to be there, if you're going to be an attendee, please let us know because we'd love to meet you. I'm sure we will because it's a fairly small retreat. I think it's 125 people. But it should be fun. So we will probably record. I don't know if we're going to do a full vlog. We'll record some footage here and there. We're going to podcast again before we go. But
yeah, at least we plan to.
We plan to. Sometimes things don't work out the way we plan.
We hope to. Yeah.
So we're going to be there. Teenybutton Studio will be there. We'll be there. Please come and say hi if you're in the area.
Yeah.
So are we ready to move on to finished objects?
Absolutely.
I have 3.
I have 2.
Ooh, I go first. Okay.
All right.
So I have to move my stuff around. I have 2 pairs of socks and a hat. So all of these except for the hat you've seen before. So I will show these first. Pardon me. These are my Obliviate Socks.
I love them every time I see them.
I love this pattern. This is a pattern by Sarah Stevens, I believe. Mm-hmm. Is that what it says? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm just going to put one on the blocker and one on the... You want to put the next one on the blocker for me?
Sure.
Okay. So this is how the pattern looks, and proof that I do have a second sock. Ta-da! So it's knit top down, it's knit cuff down, which is not the way I usually do socks, but this is the first finished pair that I've ever completed. 2 socks of the same pattern, cuff down. Yeah, and they fit great. And I love, love, love the way the heel flap and gusset looks. You can do them toe up, I usually don't. But I love the way it looks, and I'm getting a little bit better at it because it kind of throws me off because you've never done one. But
no, I've never done cuff down.
Yeah, you kind of like redistribute. Like whenever you do a short row heel, you have the back of the heel on one needle and the instep on the other. And it's like cut and dry, it's front and back. With this, you have these instep stitches. So some of them are on the front needle and some of them are on the back needle. And then you have to redistribute them at the end. So it's just a little bit different than what I'm used to. But I really enjoy doing it. I like the process of it because it makes sense. It clicks in my head, which it didn't the first couple of times, but now I kind of get it.
Now it's clicking.
Yeah. I did end up alternating skeins both for the heel flap. Oh, I can see it better on this one. I didn't alternate skeins. I only had one skein, but I knit one row from the inside and one row from the outside of the cake. just to kind of break up those colors because I was getting a little bit of pooling. But I did on the heel flap and also all the way around probably until this point. Like from here to here, I alternated inside and outside of the cake. Because whenever this is, I didn't say this is Nora George yarns. This is her sparkle base. There's a bug on the laptop screen. I guess he's okay. It's her gold sparkle base, and the colorway is Bill and Fleur Get Married. And obviously it doesn't pool whenever it's knit at my normal 68 or 72 or whatever stitch. I think this is 72. But it did whenever I started messing with the stitch count to get the gusset. So that's why I alternated. And I think it's fine. It doesn't really pool. It pulls a tiny, tiny bit. Like you see this blue. But it's not a big deal. I just didn't want like a huge swath of blue.
Because when you originally knit it straight from the outside of the cake, which is how you normally pull a cake, it was pooling. And
the heel flap was half orange and half blue, and I wanted to mix up.
Yeah.
But that's not the dyer's fault. That's just my gauge. And obviously, it's dyed beautifully at my normal gauge, so it's dyed beautifully, regardless. But
you're very happy with it.
I'm very happy with it. I think the marriage of the pattern and the sock. And the yarn is perfect. So I am very pleased with these socks, and I will be knitting. I want to knit this pattern again for sure. I might do one of my own yarns, maybe one of the Harry Potter clubs coming up might be well suited for this pattern. We'll see. Hint, hint. Maybe not this month, maybe not July's, but maybe September's. What I have for September might work. So we will see. But I'm really happy with them.
So pair one of
two. One of two. I don't know what pair this is for the year. I haven't really been keeping track this year. But would you like to go?
Oh, you can go.
Okay. So I have a second pair of finished socks, and I might as well put them both on blockers now. These are my Brunch of Commander socks. You have seen them before if you've watched the past
These are the
5
socks.
episodes. Yeah, so if you've seen the past episodes, I knit every pair of socks I've ever knit except for like the first 2 pairs that I ever knit that didn't fit me. I knit on a US 1 2.25 millimeter. And this is my soft sock base. It's my 75-25 base. And I have knit 20-25 pairs at least of socks out of this yarn on a size US 1. But for some reason, this particular skein did not want to be knit at on a size 1.
With that stitch count.
With that stitch count. So,
and still fit your foot.
Yeah, so since this is the last time I'm going to be showing them, I'm going to go through the whole spiel. So I cast on 68, which is a normal stitch count. It was like this much bigger than my actual foot. So I went down to 64, and that was a lot bigger. And then I went down to 60, and that fit my foot, but it was really gapey. You could see right through the fabric.
You didn't like fabric.
So I ordered a size 0, which is a 2 millimeter, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's a 2 millimeter. And I ended up casting on my original 68 stitches. And so I knit the first sock. I'm not sure which one is the first sock. One of these is the first sock, and one of these is the second sock, so I have a 50-50 chance of getting it right. But
Did that go on easy?
The first...
If this went on easy, this is the first sock.
Neither one of them go on easy. They don't fit. They do not fit my feet. They fit okay up to here, and I think that was the last time I tried them on. And in my brain, I'm like, okay, if my gauge is right on the foot, my gauge will be right for the rest of it, and I'll just do what I've done for the other 100 pairs of socks.
Socks have been.
I've knit over 100 pairs of socks in the past 8 years. Like, I knit a lot of socks. So they don't fit. They don't fit. It's really...
They're real tight across
I can get them
here.
On, but I can feel
your heartbeat.
Yeah, through my feet. It's horrible. So these are going to be sample socks for the booth because this is the colorway I dye fairly often. This is Brunch of Commanders. The heels and toes are Butterbeer mini skein. So this is just going to be a sample for the booth sample.
This pair of socks was not meant to be for you.
It's no.
Because they have been difficult since the beginning.
Yeah. And
you've never had this kind of trouble.
This is the problem child.
It's a vanilla sock.
It's my problem child. This pair of socks is my problem child. It just, I don't know why. There's no reason. Like, it's witchcraft. That's the only solution.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation I can think of.
It's crazy.
But, and they're not even the same length. How does that happen? I've knit 100 pairs of socks. Like, I'm not this. I swear they were not like that before, like, today. I cannot believe this.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the heels. They're even different.
Yeah, I don't know. This isn't.
It's wackadoodle.
This skein came from an alternate dimension, obviously. So I'm glad, you know.
It'd be great if they were big on the inside, because then they'd fit.
Yeah, they'd be TARDIS socks. Yeah. So these are the socks we shall not speak of anymore.
The socks that shall not be named.
Yeah. And I think that their power is more concentrated whenever they're together. Like, I think that they feed off of the chaotic energy in the mate. So
maybe if they're separated, because normally you don't have two socks out whenever you're showing.
I can't bring both of them because the booth will collapse. Like,
so you'll have to choose which one is going to be the show sock and which one stays home.
Which one's going to be shoved in a drawer and forgotten about.
Very sad. Now, you know what you could do, maybe, is cut out the heel and toe and use them as yoga socks.
No, because I suppose so. But the calf is kind of tight, too. So.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say the instep wouldn't work, but if you don't have a heel, you don't have to worry about the instep. But no. I don't think I would wear these. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. That's my favorite office quote. But I just feel some bad energy in these socks.
Some gree-gree going on here.
Exactly. So, we're not... Just pretend these didn't happen. So...
But they're finished.
I'm knitting another pair of socks with the same base, and it's totally fine. So it's an alternate dimension.
It wasn't meant to be.
No, it's the problem child. So those are my socks, my finished socks. Like, one good pair and one bad pair. So I guess, you know, could be worse. Yeah. What you got?
Oh, okay. Well, both of my socks behaved. So I'll start off with the pair I started first. What's wrong?
On the show.
This is a pair of socks knit with yarn that I bought this year at Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Fest. This is Brazen Stitchery in their, where is it? Oops, wrong side.
Hardness.
I want to get their Harmony sock. I wanted to make sure I had the right base name. So this is their Harmony sock, and it is in the colorway Skittles, and this is a prime example of whenever I buy something based on the name, because we used to have a dog named Skittles, and when I saw that, I had to have it.
She was the best dog.
It is a gorgeous stripe. They are very good at doing their stripes, and I have been loving on this Yarn Carnival Hardware 3-ply in frippery that I have used on many heels and toes.
It goes with everything. It's awesome.
It does. So I started these for Knit in Public Day. This was my cast on, and I finished them on our recent trip. In fact, I woven ends. Well, I finished the ribbing and woven ends today. So these were finished like they're hot off the needles.
Hot off the needles.
And so, I really loved them. Used my usual formula, the fish lips kiss heel, the rounded toe, and then the little mini gusset in Mina's vanilla sock recipe.
I just want to say that Penny and Stacy of Brazen Stitchery are super, super
nice. Oh, yeah, they're great.
They're awesome. They were at DFW, and they're also at Houston, so we got to see them twice so far this year. And
and we'll get to see them again coming up.
Yep, and Mississippi in September, so awesome.
So this is my first pair of socks that have been finished since last episode.
Good answer.
And they have cooperated. I've tried them on, and they fit fine.
Good, look at you.
Do you want me to do my other pair?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the pair of socks that I knit during the Houston Fiber Fest. This colorway right here is in Robin's Roadside Blue Bonnets, and the toes are in Audubon Park, thank you. And this is your Tough Sock base, which is the first time I've knit with it. And
that's not because you knit the mitts.
It's the first time I've done socks. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking it was the first time I'd done this base, but you're correct. And I decided I wanted to do something, do a textured sock, which...
you fool.
which I've decided now I do not like doing. I like plain vanilla socks. Yeah. But this is the blueberry waffle pattern, so you can see there is a bit of texture there. And I did enjoy, I've knit a ton of waffle hats, which is the same pattern, just in a hat. And so I thought...
It's not blueberry.
No. And they're not blue bonnet either.
They're not blue bonnet.
So I thought that it wouldn't be hard for me, you know, to remember the stitch count and the pattern, and I'd be able to help people in the booth and talk to people and all that, and I kept forgetting which row I was on. So yeah, it was a struggle to work on these in the booth just because I kept forgetting. So anyway, they are finished. They also fit fine. Mm-hmm. So I lucked out this time and have two pairs of socks that fit okay. Yeah. This one has a little bit of a bobble on it because I forgot that I wasn't going to continue the pattern on through the bottom of the sock.
That way you know which one is the first one and which one's the second one.
Oh, yeah.
It was intentional.
Yeah. Because we always need to know which one was knit first. Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have this week is 2 pairs of socks.
You don't have any works in progress?
No, because I mean, I literally cast off those.
Oh yeah, you're a monogamous knitter.
Well, no, not 100%, but mostly
close. Yeah.
I mean, I would have worked on the cardigan this week, but we were. I mean,
we're gone. We've been back like 2 days. Yeah.
We went to Houston. We were back one day, and then we left to go to Denver, and then since we've been back, I wanted to finish these socks.
Well, yesterday was 4th of July too.
Yeah. So I mean, we got back on Sunday, and then
we got back on Tuesday.
Oh, wait, yeah. We got back on Tuesday. The next day was the 4th of July. Mm-hmm. I could have worked on them yesterday. Me. In the sweater yesterday, but I just wasn't feeling it. I wanted to finish socks. I was feeling socks. Yeah. And I really, really, really love stripey socks, so I wanted to finish those.
Yeah. They're cute.
So, oh, you know, I do have a work in progress. I started a pair of socks. They're in the Lychee.
Oh, yeah. You want to go get it?
No.
It's a pair of Lychee socks.
It's a pair of Lychee socks. Now that I remember. I mean, I'm like this.
Yeah, because you were working on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what happened was with these, when I got to the ribbing on the cuff, I usually knit my socks in a 1.5 and a US 1.5, and I didn't like, it just really seemed loose, so I wanted to go down to a 1. Yeah. And you weren't using your 1 for the first pair, but the second pair you were using your 1.
I brought an extra US 1.
So I left the ribbing for when I got home when I had an extra one. So I went ahead and cast on those Lychee ones, which I completely forgot about until just now. So no, I do have a work in progress.
Oh well.
I'll show it next time.
Yeah. Next time it might be finished the way that you knit socks.
No, because I really want to go back and work on that sweater.
Yeah.
I really need to finish that sweater.
I need to finish my Tecna. We'll show that in a minute.
So I'm done.
Okay. So I have one more finished object, and I will put it on. Nobody has seen it. You haven't seen the yarn. You haven't seen the work in progress, but it is done. And here it is.
Lay hat.
Lay hat. This is through the Korufee.
Not sure how to say it.
Korufee, and there's an accent
on the first E.
On the first E. That is a hat pattern by Melina Hami, M-E accent L-I-N-A.
I hope we're not butchering her name.
You probably are. My French is really bad. I assume that's French.
I don't know, but it's cool.
Yeah. So we will talk about this a little bit more in a second, but we scored an extremely good deal on some
that's crazy.
Hedgehog Merino Aran. So in the 36 hours that we had at home between our 2 trips, I hurried up and found a pattern for Aran weight that I could cast on the plane. So that is this hat, and here it is on, but you're probably more interested in the detail. So the yarn is Hedgehog Merino Aran, Hedgehog Fibers, Merino Aran base, and the colorway is Boombox. And this is how it looks. The original pattern, you do a reverse stockinette, and then you do the chevron. It reminds me of Charlie Brown's shirt.
It does.
And then for the crown,
and then you've got some texture in between the Charlie Brown chevron.
Yeah, there's some seed stitch Charlie Brown. And then she has these things, the stitch she calls flakes, which looks like a slip stitch sort of texture. I did not do that just because I was like, I'm so close to the end, I don't want to learn a new stitch, I just want to finish. So I just did stockinette on the top. So it's reverse stockinette, and then the texture in the middle, and then the regular stockinette. And 2 inches of twisted rib. I feel like I need a medal for that, but it is Aran weight, so maybe I need like a little medal, not like a big medal. Maybe a ribbon. So
so sad.
I wanted to bring 2 projects on the Denver trip. So I wanted to have a pair of socks and a hat. So
Which was not enough projects.
It was not enough projects. I'll talk about that in our next episode, but I needed to buy some emergency yarn. That's why I brought the extra needles, because Girl Scouts come prepared.
Well, no, then you would have had 3 projects.
Yeah, well. So, not a whole lot to say. It's cute. It was a great pattern. It is a free pattern. Free pattern. It was well written, but it was a little bit... The formatting I'm not used to, maybe because it is a French pattern. But once I figured it out, it was easy. There's a chart, because I love charts, but it's also written.
Yay, written.
Most of it's written. And then I used my leftover yarn to do a pom-pom. I used one of your, they're from Joann's, the little Joann's. Clover, there we go. The Clover pom-pom makers.
Which are excellent pom-pom makers.
I used the blue one. Is that the biggest one?
I can't remember. I'd have to see them all lined up.
I used the blue one. I don't know if that helps anybody. And it was super fast to do. I did it while y'all were at Sam's tonight.
Oh, yeah. Those pom-pom makers make a pom-pom really fast.
Yeah. And I didn't have to trim it too much either. It's just kind of how it came off the thing.
All right.
So,
perfect.
Nice wiggle. And it fits.
It's a great colorway.
It fits just like I like it. I like it snug, but also long. And I don't usually fold it up. I just like it long because I worry that it's going to slip off of my head. But I can also scrunch it back a little bit.
Make it a little slouchy.
Yeah, it's not like I need hats. It's probably hat wearing weather, like knit hat wearing weather, maybe 2 or 3 days out of the year, but I have it for whenever I need it.
You wish you had a hat when you were in New York?
Oh, yeah. I did have a hat in New York in December, but I kept worrying I was going to lose it because it was a little bit, it was slippy. It kept slipping off my head. I think I have a weird shaped head for knit hats, but I just need them a little bit longer.
I think your head is fine.
I like them a little bit longer. But.
I think the concern is you got the ponytail back there.
Yeah.
And so that does make your head theoretically odd shape, but that's not your head shape. That's just the shape because of the ponytail.
I like wearing my hair up, so I usually need to account for that.
Sure.
So that is my 3rd finished object. Can't remember the last time I had 3 finished objects, but I do this week.
Whoop, whoop.
So look at us go. Oops. So
you disturbed Pearl.
I did. Pearl's on the bed, and I threw it, and it didn't disturb her, but it hit something that made a noise, and it bothered her. Poor thing. Her life is so hard.
Poor baby.
So I guess I should do works in progress?
Sure, because I have none.
Okay. So this...
That I remembered to bring.
Well, that's okay. This is my Tecna, and I can't remember where I was last time. So...
Isn't that the purpose of the Progress Keeper?
Well, no, I use the Progress Keeper to track how much I do every day.
Oh, so you use, like, this is how much I've knit today?
Yes.
See, I use mine to this is where I was last time in podcast.
That's a smart way to do it. I should do 2 Progress Keepers. So this is my Tecna so far. I have cast... I haven't cast off anything. I have separated the fronts and the backs, and I am knitting the back right now. So I would say, how much is that? 4 inches of back so far?
Yeah, works for me.
You need to knit... I can't remember. Maybe I shouldn't say that because it's the pattern's a paid-for pattern. But I need to knit more than this to do the back. And then I actually have this on 2 different circulars, 2 different size 5 circulars. So I'm going to knit across with this and then use this one as a stitch holder and then knit up with this one as a stitch holder. And then you do some sort of complicated voodoo and you bind it off somehow and then you do the neckline. So I'm close, and I really want to finish this for SSK. So this is the top priority.
You're going to be knitting like crazy on this for the next 2 weeks.
Not even 2 weeks. We leave Tuesday, and today is Friday.
Well, a
10
week
days.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 days.
Not the next Tuesday.
No, a week from next Tuesday. So 10 days, just about.
Well, you can do that.
So,
what did you do? A sweater for the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do it. I I need to not be distracted. Because the Ravelinix, like, I was, like, gearing myself up, and I'm like, no distractions, and I cut everybody out of my life, and I said, don't talk to me for, 9 days.
It was ugly.
By day 8, I needed a blanket square to take the edge off. But,
I think you can do this.
Have you seen there's, like, a cardigan going around? I think it's the Beekeeper cardigan. People are knitting it in, like, 4 days.
I saw that, West 7th Wool did.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love the pattern. So, that is my Tecna. Y'all have seen it before.
You know it, you love it.
Hopefully, it'll be finished or close to it in 2 weeks.
It will be. It'll be
10 days. Because I really want to wear it to SSK. And the problem with this is that I don't know if I have anything I can wear underneath it. So I may need to go buy some tank tops from, like, Target or something. Because I would want a white or like a gray. I wouldn't want like a black. All my tank tops are black or dark gray because I use them for dye shirts. Because if something's black, it doesn't show dye stains. I learned that the hard way. But I need to find some white ones because I think it would really make it a little more summery.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'm really enjoying knitting it. It's just stockinette right now.
Looks great though. I mean, everybody she showed this to at Houston Fiber Festival went crazy over it.
People love the swatch. The swatch is like,
because this is a vase that you debuted there.
Yeah. This is my breezy fingering. It is a 50-50 merino, superwash merino and cotton blend, and this colorway is the Owlery. Said it right that time. And it is actually currently in the shop. I dyed like 6 extra dye lots, so there is plenty left if you would like to get a square quantity. I'll show at the end. But I do have lots and lots and lots of this in the shop.
This is so pretty. This
and
is
I'll
one of
be
my
bringing it to
favorite
SSK.
colorways
I love
that you've ever done.
I love this. It always sells out on Soft Sock. It sold out at Houston. It sold out at DFW.
It's just a beautiful colorway.
It can be used for so much.
It's just soft, but then those gold pops and the black pops, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep. Good job.
Awesome. So this is the 3rd cake that I'm on. I'm hoping I can get the rest of this out of this cake and I won't have to break into skein number 4. I have no idea if I'll make it or not. I have it. But the good thing about making it out of my own yarn is that if I don't use it, then I can sell that one, which is awesome. And somebody else can use it for theirs. So I really hope I don't have to break into the fourth skein.
I knew that was going to happen to somebody.
Yeah, it happens every time. I'm used to it by this point. I hit myself in the face with needles. I hit myself in the face with yarn. It's just part of my existence, I suppose.
It's what is it? Oh, God, I can't think of the word. Job hazard.
Occupational hazard?
That's the word, occupational.
Yeah.
Job hazard.
You were close.
Yeah.
So I have one more work in progress, and this actually has no needles in it right now. These are sock tubes. What would you call them? Tubes?
Yeah, tube socks.
Tube socks. I knit these on our trip to Denver. The colorway is by Rockin' String Creations, and it is called Mountain Twilight, and I thought it was especially fitting for a trip to the Rocky Mountains. And it would be nice as a
it was used as a mitten at one point.
The Denver airport is cold, y'all. It's freezing. So
I have a video on Instagram of Robin actually knitting on her other sock while wearing the other sock on one hand.
So I've knit these just as tubes, toe up 68 stitches all the way through. And I am going to cut in afterthought heels here, I think. I think this green stripe is where I'm going to need to cut them in. So I'm not sure where that is on the second sock, but I use the Kirby Warby tutorial for cutting in afterthought heels, and then I use Susan B. Anderson's Smooth Operator heel pattern. I use the single line decreases, towards the end of the pattern, typically. And that's probably what I'll do with this one, just because if it works, if it's not broke, don't fix it, sort of.
I like that.
I have plenty of yarn left. I think these are going to be slightly shorter than my typical socks, which is perfectly okay. I'd rather them be slightly shorter than run out of yarn whenever I'm in the middle of a heel.
That would not be fun.
So these will be finished next week. If I get tired of the Tecna and I need something to take the edge off, I'll finish
cutting
these.
your heels.
Yeah, it's much less scary the more you do it.
I remember the first time you did it, you were just terrified. I'm cutting my yarn.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
this will be, I think this will be number 4 that I've cut in afterthought heels. Yeah, it does get less scary.
Well, you know you've had success.
Yes. So that is all of my works in progress. If I can put this on the ground, that'd be good. There we go. Okay.
All right.
So now we're going to talk about Houston and what we got there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't remember all the footage that I took for Houston Fiber Fest, but I will roll it while we're talking, so you'll be seeing it hopefully now. We had a great time.
It was really a nice show.
Yeah, it was our 3rd or 4th year. So they're fairly new compared to some of the other Texas shows like DFW. But it was well run.
And it was in a bigger venue this year. I think
yes.
the previous years had been in smaller room, but this year they decided to increase the size, and a lot of people were talking about how nice that was.
Yeah, there was a nice size stitching lounge. They did demonstrations throughout the day. They did a stitch marker swap. They did a couple other events. They did like a Friday night talk with the people from Yarn Carnival. So it was very interesting. It was very, very cool. We were on a corner, which is new for us.
Well, that's only your 2nd show, right?
Yeah, but it's still new.
Yeah, it is.
So it was just interesting because you get to see people coming from both sides,
mm-hmm.
and
I liked it.
Yeah, we had a really good time. We need to find a way to make our setup a little bit less complicated, I think. But that's something we need to practice. Maybe do some like speed runs.
Yeah, I just think that's something that comes with practice, and the more you do set up and break down, I think the more efficient you get.
Yeah,
we're not efficient at this point. What's cracked me up both times is how neat the car is packed on the way there, and how chaotic the car is on the way back. I mean, it's not literally thrown in. Like, there were people at Houston Fiber Festival who were literally taking the hooks full of yarn and just dropping them into bins, not even taking the yarn off the hook. But it wasn't, I mean, it was like beautifully packed, like tetraed in there.
Yeah.
And no, on the way back, it was just like helter-skelter.
Yeah. But,
okay, this bug is bugging me. Let me get that.
It's bugging you.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
I was going to say something.
But it was a great show. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was nice because it's in Houston. We have family in Houston, so we got to spend some time with my mom and my sister. It was nice and hot.
It was a little warm.
But
it didn't rain. It was supposed to rain on load-in day, and it didn't rain.
Yeah,
that
was lucky.
Yeah. I almost died. Not really, but
when did that happen?
We were trying to set up the grid walls without the feet.
Oh, yeah.
So because I worry about it being a tripping hazard, so I had these side panels, and the side panels we learned are not enough to support the full weight of the grid wall full of yarn, because as I was loading, we had set it up, and I was putting the pegs on, and I was putting the yarn on the pegs, and then the whole thing falls towards me with all these pegs full of yarn.
I think that if the side panels were wider, it would have worked well, but these were like half panels.
Yeah.
Not only were they half, but they were shorter, so they weren't offering the support that they should have.
Yeah, shout out to the lady across from us who came and pulled it off of me.
Yeah, I couldn't get there fast enough. I was on the other side of the booth setting that side up.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but
near-death experience.
I don't think you almost died.
No, probably not. I probably would have been smothered by yarn, and that's, if you have to go, that's a good way to go.
Yeah, you'd still be there. I would have just walked away.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of people there from DFW, so a lot of familiar faces.
Yes.
We saw Lazy Cat yarn. We saw Undead yarn. Backyard fiber.
The Brazen Stitchery
Chicken
ladies.
coop fiber. Brazen Stitchery. Just nice to see,
There was a great alpaca farm, and I cannot remember their name. Starts with an H. They were right across from us, and they had this, I don't know what it was. She said it wasn't a carder, but it was this thing that he pushed back and forth, and she said that what it did was it got all the grass and
vegetable
matter out of the fleece, and I would just sit there and I'd watch it going back and forth.
Like mesmerizing.
And I tried to get some footage of it, and of course, as soon as I had intended to get footage of it, he didn't use it that often. He did use the drum carder a lot, but that was really interesting to watch them, actually
they'll be on the video. Yeah,
process some of their fleece. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Just a really nice show.
Yeah. So the first day, so the Friday, we had set up. We were all ready to go, and it was about 10:45. It was at 9:45, and the show started at 10. And so you had already taken a walk around, and I went to go walk down the aisle that we were on, and there was a Sayori weaving booth.
2 booths down.
2 booths down, and
I wasn't as observant.
They had a big sign outside the booth, and it said, all yarn $5. And I'm like, oh, I like yarn. Let me go look. So I went and looked, and they had, like, how many skeins of hedgehog would you say?
I don't know, because you actually saw it before I saw it, and some was bought in between when you saw it and when I got there.
So they had hedgehog, they had Dream in Color, they had a bunch of other, I can't remember exactly what they had because I saw the hedgehog and my mind just,
that was it.
And I'm like,
she was a goner.
All of the yarn, like the hedgehog fibers, and she's like, especially the hedgehog fibers, and I'm like,
yeah, she was like getting rid of all of her,
her skeined yarn. I think she was going to start working from cones exclusively.
Yeah, so she
just wanted it out.
I don't want it, and I mean, we'll help you out.
Yeah, we will.
We're there for you.
So she's like, well, do you want me to start you a bag? I'm like, yes,
that'd
please.
be nice.
So
start me a truck.
So right as I started like throwing yarn in this basket, the intercom came on and said, oh, it's 10 o'clock. We're going to start the show. And I'm like, well, I can't be over here in somebody else's booth whenever the show starts. So I came back to you and I said, okay, I have a bag started. I didn't really get a chance to look, but I got a good idea for what there was. So I sent you went over to go and take a look, and I let you, I let you pay for mine. I'll pay you back.
Yeah, so I threw some stuff in there. I think we ended up getting 15 skeins.
Yeah.
It's not all hedgehog. I think.
Mostly hedgehog.
Yeah, I think there you got a skein, one skein, I think, of Dream in Color.
Yeah, well, we'll show.
We're getting ready to show you what we got.
Yeah, so let's do. The stuff she had the most of was the Aran weight. So that's what the hat that I just made out of the Aran weight, that's what that was. So I think we got some of the same colors.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So I only kept 3 skeins.
3. And I bought the rest of the ones.
I pulled a bunch of them because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's hedgehog at $5. So I just was grabbing stuff. And then afterwards, when we got back to Mom's house, I actually picked what I wanted to keep. And I may not keep all of this. There's a possibility that some of this may go into prizes. Knit-along prizes. I'm not sure because I don't knit a lot with Aran.
There's only so many hats you can make.
Well, if I'm knitting hats, I'm usually knitting charity hats, and those need to be washable. And I wouldn't run this through the washing machine nor dryer.
No.
So I only kept 3.
Yeah. So we have Budgie.
So
on the left.
Budgie.
So Budgie. We have Monet.
We both have that. Monet.
And then we both have Boombox.
Yep.
So there were 3 of these, but now there are 2 because one of them is a hat.
One of them's now a hat, and those are the 3 that I kept.
So I also got Down by the River, which is gorgeous pastel greens and pinks. I got Shamrock, which is a yellowy green. And then I also got Genie, which is kind of like Boombox, but without the black speckles. So I think that these would make an awesome fade. But I can't find any good fade patterns for Aran weight.
Yeah.
But there's probably something out there. If anybody knows of a good Aran weight pattern, I mean, I could always knit it like a Find Your Fade and just knit it in Aran weight at a bigger gauge.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the yardage. I'd have to cut it short. But it would just involve a little bit of math. But that's like a perfect fade, right? The green, yeah. So we'll see what happens. They're hard to hold all of them.
Yeah, they are. I also, there was one skein of sock weight. So this is, I don't know if you can see it really well. This is B's Knees.
I love that name.
Or BS Knees. I'm not sure exactly how to say it. But I did pick up that because it was sock weight. And Love me some sock weight yarn.
So the other thing that she had a lot of was singles, which is why you didn't get a whole lot.
No, I'm not a single person.
Yeah. So this is Dream in Color Jilly with Cashmere. And I have used this before. I've used Dream in Color 3 times, and they have struck out, but I couldn't resist the $5.
You'll try it again for $5.
I'll try it again for $5, yeah. I had one skein that bled all over my hands, and I had one skein that was tangled up beyond belief whenever I tried to skein it, and I have one skein that was felted to itself. And that's the 3 times I have used Dream in Color. But for $5, I will try again.
Maybe it's the singles.
So, no, I haven't. No, the first time was Smooshy with Cashmere.
Oh, yeah.
The second time was Classic BK, and the third time was Jilly, just regular. Right. So this color is Gold Experience. I just thought it was really pretty. So we will see if they redeem themselves. But then I also got some Hedgehog Fiber Skinny Singles from the Weaving Place. So all these again were $5. This is Boombox again. We have a lot of Boombox. This one is Pod. This one doesn't really appeal to me that much. I would not pay full price for this just because the way that it's dyed, I'm very concerned it's going to pool. Because it looks like it's close to half and half orange and green. There's no variation, sort of. But we'll see.
Use it with something else.
Yeah, use it with something else. And then I got...
But again, it's $5.
It's $5, yeah. What am I going to do with $5? This is Crybaby, which I actually have a skein of in there on sock.
Huh. Look at that.
But, yeah, I've kind of fed my hedgehog obsession for a while. Except for the fact that I went and I bought this one. This was not a $5 skein, but this is one of the new colorways. And we don't have anywhere local that sells hedgehog, so whenever I see it at Fiber Festivals, I kind of like to look and see what's the new stuff. So this one is Kimono. I purchased this from Hill Country Weavers, which is also a stockist of my yarn. They're super nice. But just blues. There's some pink in there that I really like, some orange. So that is my hedgehog skinnies. So I have 6 Aran, 4 singles, and then 1 Dream in Color. So that was the only thing I bought.
Or 5 Aran and 5 singles.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that was the only thing I bought. I did buy the extra pair of size 5 needles, the Lychee needles for my to do the fronts and the backs of my Tecna. Yeah, because I was gonna wait until I got home, and then I'm like, well, I'm not bringing it with me to Denver, so I want to do as much as I can now while I can. So.
Yeah. Well, I made some other purchases at DFW. My mom and my sister came on Friday, and my sister fell in love with a sample that she saw in one of the booths. So she wanted me to knit her the shawl that she saw, and this is wool tree yarn. It's not on Ravelry, but I do have a link in the show notes if you're interested in it. It is coming undone. But this is natural color, and this color right here is longwood, and they're held together in the pattern. It's really a cool pattern. But this is 70% superwash, 30% silk.
You know these are singles, right?
She wanted exactly what the sample was, so I bought exactly what the sample was, even though it's not something I enjoy knitting. This is what she wanted, and this is going to be a Christmas gift for her.
Good sister.
No, I don't know. We'll see. And then my mom, while she was walking around, saw another sample in another booth, and she wanted that exact shawl. And so this is in Zula Breeze. It's a lace weight, and I don't do a lot of lace weight knitting, but I will be now.
It looks a little bit thicker than a lace weight.
Yeah, it does. It looks more like a light fingering to me, but anyway, this is a dusty rose color, and I can't remember. I've got the patterns for both of them, but once I start working on them, you'll see what the patterns are that go with these 2 particular purchases. And the last thing that I bought at DFW was some Savvy skeins. She had an Aggie colorway, and my dad was an Aggie, so I had to make a purchase of this. So this is a beautiful maroon and white with a little bit of black in there, which makes it interesting. And I had to have it.
And that is for Texas A&M, for
Yes.
those of you who are not Texas people.
Texas A&M Aggies.
Yes.
Gig 'em. I'm going to mention this now, too.
Yeah.
This was not purchased at DFW, at Houston Fiber Fest, but it did come in the mail while we were gone. Many of you may have heard about what happened to Yarn Over New York. Jessica had a trunk show at another store. The store mailed her yarn back to her, and it was left in front of her apartment, and it was all stolen. And I think she said it was something like 90% of her inventory.
It wasn't just stolen. It's like this guy, he knew what it was. He opened the box and like put skeins into a suitcase.
He brought a suitcase because they have the recording, the actual recording of the theft. The guy brought a suitcase, filled it up, left, came back, filled it up a second time. And it, just all of her stuff, it was just gone. And so she was, telling everybody about it. And so to support her, I went over and bought a skein of her yarn. And this is called Parakeet Kisses.
Aww.
And this is in her Times Square base. And I thought it was really cute. It'll make a fun pair of socks. So that came in the mail while we were in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot 2 more things. Back to Houston. Sorry. I purchased this print, which I thought was absolutely amazing. There was a vendor there called The Knitting Artist, and she has hand-dyed yarn, but she also does artwork. And so these are all knitted things that she paints things that have been knitted. And so this was a little print that I bought.
She does shoes too, because I've seen her before. She does like Ked style shoes, and she puts knit.
She
print
had
on them.
some originals in her booth that were absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that I couldn't justify the cost of that. Although if I hit the lottery, that's like one of the things that I'm buying.
Yeah,
is one of her pieces. And the other thing, now where did it go? Because I know I brought it in here.
What is it?
Those little earring things. Oh, here they are.
Oh yeah.
This was really cool. So this is by Purl and Loop, and these are earrings or stitch markers, progress keepers or whatever. And you can see that you can use, leftover fingering to make some really cute little earrings that you kind of do a little weavy kind of a stitch in there. And it comes with, 4 of the, these little earring parts. It's got some jump rings down here, and then it also has the earring pieces in here too.
Lever back things, yeah.
Yeah, and then you could choose which type of tree you wanted. You had a choice between alder, birch, and walnut, and this is the alder.
That's really cool.
And I thought this was really, really neat. So I'm going to try to make these at some point. This is the smaller size. She did have some that were 2-inch. These are the 1-inch.
I bet they're light too.
So yeah, well, this whole package right here is pretty light. But she had some really cool stuff. She reminded me a lot of Katrinkles in that she had a lot of things that were cut out of wood, things like needle gauges and wraps per inch gauges and things like that. But
there's a little bag. That's
there's a little bag you can put them in. But I mean, look how cute that is. And that
really
I
good
think
idea.
that will be really cute. And it shows you it gives you
How to
like
get the
a set of
designs.
instructions, and it's like something else you can do with your minis. Like if you have a really favorite colorway or a really, really fun colorway, you could do something, make you some earrings out of it.
Yeah. I wish I'd
So,
gotten a pair.
yeah.
You kept telling me to go over there, and I kept forgetting.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that they sell online. I will put a link to what I can find in the show notes, but their name is Purl and Loop, and they had some really cute things.
I'm putting your stuff over here so we can see the show notes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm kind of in the way here.
So we had a question this week from Amy, who is Mama's Little Monkeys. She asks, what are your suggestions for a good beginner cardigan? I do not want a sweater. I never wear them, but I'd like a lightweight cardigan for the fall, winter, especially for the office. Preferably with no buttons. I'm toying with the blue sand cardigan.
And I have that one in my favorites. I think that's a great pattern.
Yeah. My first cardigan was the vertebrae. Like my first full-size cardigan was the vertebrae cardigan. I would not recommend that if you're trying to keep warm because it doesn't really have fronts. but it wasn't particularly difficult to follow. It was good instructions.
What about your vitamin D?
The vitamin D is like a cropped sort of.
So not maybe
and
not
a quarter length. I wouldn't do that if you're trying to keep warm in the office. What I would recommend, my first recommendation is the Madewell cardigan. That is a pattern by Joji Locatelli. I have made that once, and I do plan to make it again. It's just really simple top-down raglan increases, and I like the raglan increases because they make sense in my brain. You're doing a raglan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it just makes sense to me, so that's the way I like to do it, and I prefer top-down so you can try it on as you go. The pattern comes with elbow patch instructions, which I did not do, but they'd be super cute.
Yeah.
There's also the featherweight cardigan, which is in my queue. They seem very similar. The only thing I've heard about the featherweight cardigan is that the sleeves are really small, like really tight in the upper arm.
Yeah, so that might be one that you want to go and look at the project notes that some people have done to see if they've had to do a little bit of, what's the word, modifications, just to see if, I mean, Amy doesn't have really, no, she doesn't
we
have
know Amy in person.
The old batwing arms that Mary has, yeah. So I mean, it may not be an issue for Amy,
yeah. But I've heard like even skinny people are saying that's just a little snug. So
yeah, I mean, everybody has a certain fit that they like. Some people like things to be tighter fitting, and some people like things to be looser fitting, and that's definitely one of the things that pattern is known for is the more skin conforming sleeves.
But it's been knit thousands of times, so I bet there's people talking about the fit of it, and if you need help, you can find somebody easily who's made it.
Absolutely. So,
but I love the Madewell. The Madewell's fantastic. I can attest that the Madewell's fantastic because I've personally made it. So that's my recommendation.
Do y'all have any suggestions for Amy? Is there a great pattern that you have knit that you would say is a good beginner pattern? Because the pattern that I chose that I'm doing my pattern out of, there's some parts of it that I haven't been real happy about, just because she didn't give full instructions, and it was just like from this point on, you know how the pattern goes, but not really, because you're increasing on the sides. So what do you do with those side stitches? Kind of a deal.
There is always Custom Fit by Amy Herzog, so that's an option. Yeah,
Custom Fit would be good if you're interested in a pattern that you're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
I did look at Custom Fit. She doesn't have any that are, knit all in one piece. So if you're looking for something that's knit in one piece, Custom Fit would not be the way to go. But if you're looking for something that's definitely going to fit you in terms of your measurements, that's an idea.
And the best thing about Custom Fit is that you put your gauge in, so you can use any yarn and any needles, as long as you swatch first.
Yep.
They do the math for you, so there's
amazing. A plus there.
Yeah. Yes, because that's what I was thinking about you, because you were having trouble finding a pattern that fit your gauge, and you wanted to use that yarn.
Yeah, and I wanted to use that gauge.
Yeah,
that was an issue because I'm a tight knitter. So, all right.
Yeah.
So if you have any suggestions for Amy, let us know.
Yeah.
Let Amy know.
Let somebody know.
Yeah.
Let us know, and we'll tell Amy.
Or Amy can check the threads.
Yes. So I'm going to do a little shop update section. Do we have anything else to talk about?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Shop update section is coming at you in just a minute, but if you are not interested, then please feel free to leave. So my update schedule for July is a little bit different than normal. I had an update today at 5 o'clock. It is now 10 o'clock. So 5 hours ago, I had an update. There is still plenty of yarn left. So that's going to be the first update of this month, and then there will be 2 updates of this month. So the second one will be on the 27th.
After you get back from SSK.
After SSK. So one today, the 6th, and one on the 27th. So they're both going to be very large updates. I think the update today was about 150 skeins. So there is plenty of yarn left. I will show you what is in the shop right now. And then I will show you the Harry Potter Club for June. Does that sound good?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Now, we are leaving for SSK on the 17th. So you'll probably close the shop.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
So what's in the shop now is not.
It's not going to be in the shop forever.
It won't be there through the 27th.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Just leave it like that. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do first. So some of the stuff has come back from Houston, or I've re-dyed it since, so that my online customers can get a chance at it. So I showed this last episode, but I will show you again there in the shop. This is not what I want. This is what I want. These are my birds of a feather. They're not kits per se, but they're basically build your own kits. So this is the colorway I've dyed is the main color. This is for the Birds of a Feather shawl by Andrea Mowry. So this colorway is called a la mode. And then you can pick one of three mohair colorways. So this is Peach Cobbler. Peach Cobbler, there you are. This is Strawberry Tart. I think I called this something different on the last episode, but it's Strawberry Tart. Somebody said it looked like rhubarb too.
I know. It does kind of look like rhubarb.
Yeah. And then this one is Brownie. So all things that you can get a la mode. So that you'll need 2 skeins of the main color and just 1 skein of the mohair. So there they are all together. I also have, if you want to do a Birds of a Feather, I have 2 new colorways. And I think this is what I'm going to do my Birds of a Feather out of. I think that might be my cast on to take to SSK. Okay. This is Ghost Tour. This is a new colorway. I think I talked about this last week. Rick of Whimsy Stitches actually gave me the name. And he was so kind as to let me use it. So I've come up with this. It's an ethereal kind of blue, purple, grays with dark speckles.
There was a lady at Houston who chose this and Wisteria.
Oh, I love that.
And I'm still wanting those 2 together.
Yeah, I do have Wisteria. Actually, I didn't even think about that, but I do have Wisteria on mohair. But I was going to pair it with this. This is called Audubon, which is named after James Audubon.
That'll be beautiful. But you know me, I'm loving the purples. And you're more of a green person.
I'm a minty.
Anyway.
Yeah. So this is Audubon on soft sock. So that's how it looks on the different bases. But I think this is going to be my Birds of a Feather. And I think I'm gonna dye some of this on singles because I prefer to knit shawls with singles. So that is those 2 new colorways. And then I've also put some of my Breezy Fingering, which is my 50-50 wool cotton blend, in the shop.
Which you were using for your Tecna.
That I'm using for my Tecna. So this is the same colorway that I'm using. This is the Owlery on Breezy Fingering. Breezy Fingering. I also have, I have a bunch of colors. I have Butterbeer. I have Wisteria Walk. I had Rose Gold, but Rose Gold has sold out. Which I will be doing more of for SSK and for the July 27th update. But I do have left, this is Orpheus, which is a nice blue color. Bless you.
Excuse me, I knew that was coming.
And then this one is Forbidden. I think I showed this one last week. I also have Beignets, which is like a creamy kind of tan. And I have Soot Sprite, which is a medium gray. So that's all that I have on the cotton base. And then brand new, this was dyed yesterday with Larry's help because he is a huge fan of the movie Labyrinth. I don't know what it was, but while we were in Denver, like, because I've seen the movie Labyrinth growing up and it always kind of scared me. And I watched it all the way through a couple of years ago and I really liked it, but it didn't really stick. But for some reason, this was in your head. I had Magic Dance in my head, which is the song that David Bowie sings whenever he's dancing with all the goblin puppets. And for some reason, I'm like, I literally listened to nothing else for a week. I'm still stuck on it, but I'm kind of listening to the rest of the soundtrack. And so Larry and I rewatched Labyrinth together. And then we dyed this colorway for Magic Dance. It's called Magic Dance. It always throws me off. But the lyric is Dance Magic Dance. So that's the name of this colorway. So, Dance Magic Dance. So, it's kind of, I talked about this a little bit on Instagram, but the Jim Henson movies are known for being kind of muted palettes, very, grays and browns and dark greens and stuff. But I wanted to kind of bring the glam in because Jareth, David Bowie's character, is really kind of like sparkly and glam, so it's very David Bowie kind of with the neons, but I'm really happy with this. So I have
Larry did a good job.
Larry's solution is always to add more purple because Larry loves purple. So there's plenty of purple, plenty of pink.
Hey, that's a good colorway name.
So I have this, I think I have one left on Sparkle and a handful left on Soft Sock. I have saved a skein for myself on Sparkle and I'm going to make some socks But it is a very variegated colorway. So I think I'm going to do the Scylla, Scylla. I think it's named after a Greek sea monster. But it's got like slipped stitches that kind of break up the pooling. And it will micro stripe when knit at certain gauges, but I don't want to have to fiddle with my gauge. I want to just knit straight. So this will be my other cast on for SSK. But I really like, it took me a couple of attempts, but I really love how this came out. I'm really proud of it. So.
I may have to get me a skein of that.
Yeah, I've had a lot of requests for Underground, and I've had a couple requests for As the World Turns. No, that's not it. As the World Falls Down. See, I'm not...
As the World Turns was a soap opera.
Yes, As the World Falls Down. That's the one that they sing in the ballroom scene. You've never seen the movie?
Nope.
You need to watch it. I just ordered it on DVD. Like, I'm into it right now. I do know, I want to say this, Knox Yarn Company has a whole Labyrinth collection. So if you're looking for a Labyrinth theme colorway that's not this one, go check her out. I don't know when her next update is, but she's got a whole Labyrinth collection, and they're awesome. So that is what I've come up with. And then last but not least, I will show this because I kind of decided to do this on the fly. If you are familiar with the indie dye community, you will know that there is a current event going on with Countess Ablaze. It is her Tits Out collective. I'll give you the abbreviated version. She dyed a colorway as an excuse, as in, so I'm looking for.
I don't know. As an answer?
Response. She dyed 2 colorways as a response to a misogynistic encounter that she had, and she donated a good portion of the sales from that and from the dye lots to Women's Aid, and she donated something like 3,000 pounds, which is ridiculous. And I have a skein of her, the Trey Bakes one, yeah. So what happened is a dyer bought a skein of her other colorway, which is called If I Want Exposure, I'll Get My Tits Out, and was seen knitting with it, and then dyed a very similar colorway, like kind of copied her colorway.
And was selling it. So
instead of, putting this woman, the wrath of Instagram onto this woman, the Countess decided to host an event where all indie dyers are invited to dye their own version of the colorway and sell it as long as a certain portion of the proceeds go to charity.
And she gave everybody the dyes that she used and everything.
Yeah, she shared what dyes that she used. She opened it up to designers and to notions makers and all kinds of different
Tag
people.
makers, everybody who wanted to participate.
Yes, and I really wanted to, and I wasn't sure if I could because of my tight dye schedule right now, and it started July 1st. So I had Houston, and then we were going to be out of town on July 1st, so I didn't want to commit to anything. But during the 36 hours we were home, I managed to do 4 dye lots of this colorway. So this is my version. My version is called Titties for Kitties, and it's part of the hashtag Tits Out Collective. Everyone comes with a little tag on the side, and $5 from every skein is going to go to the Alley Cats Allies, which is an organization that they promote trap neuter return programs for cats, for feral cats, and they also promote just feline welfare in general. They have a lot of resources on the website. They host seminars and workshops and stuff. So Titties for Kitties. I have opened pre-orders. I can't remember how many I did, but I have 7 left, and that's all I'm going to do for right now, probably until after SSK. I have them dyed. They're dyed up. I just haven't sent them out yet. I need to finish labeling them and scanning them and everything, but they are done. They're ready to go. But I'm really pleased with how it looks.
They're beautiful.
A lot of dyers have been taking kind of racy photos where they hold it in front of themselves, and I like that, but I don't think I'm brave enough to do that. So kudos to everybody who's done it. I know Amy Florence did it, and Vine did it, and a couple other people.
Yeah. If you search for the hashtag Tits Out Collective on Instagram, you'll see a lot of the people who
Dragon Horde
took a lot of really cute pictures.
Yeah, it's adorable, and it's not sexualized. It's it's empowering. It's taking control of your body, and
this is a choice you're making.
Yeah,
not somebody wanting you to look like that.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you're like, hey, this is my body. This is what I want to do.
So you got a skein.
Yep,
from Haverland, right?
Yes,
Yes.
I have a skein that's coming, and I get a skein of this as
And
well.
you get a skein of this, yes.
Yeah, the one from Haviland's going to be self-striping.
Yeah. I really liked, there were a bunch I really liked. I liked Dragon Horde. I liked Stitch Together Studio. I liked Woolen Vine, but there was no chance in the world of me getting that.
There were so many gorgeous,
they had
gorgeous colorways.
200 dyers, over $200.
It was crazy.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So the Countess wants us to sell throughout the month, and then at the end of the month, report back how much money we've raised in terms of the donation amount. And then she said that we can keep selling it as long as you always donate $5. I think it's £3, which is for something US. So I just rounded up. I think Woolen Vine donated like half of hers. But a lot of people are doing a lot more, which is awesome. So that is Titties for Kitties. Somebody suggested this name. You suggested the name too. It was originally Tits for Cats, and I was thinking, oh, it's cute. It's like Tit for Tat. But Titties for Kitties is a lot cuter. So, yeah, it's a really fun colorway to dye. And it's very, very, very bright. So, in your face. It's showing up a little bit less in your face on camera, but that's just the way it is. So, that is it for what is currently in the shop. We're going to move along to the Harry Potter Club. Excuse me. July clubs are done. Not done, but like if you've ordered one, you're good. You can't buy them anymore. August clubs are now up. And I have also taken down the 3-month subscriptions. So the 3-month subscriptions are going to go up quarterly just because it's easier for me to keep track of. So if you bought in June, you get July, August, September. And then if you buy in September, you get October, November, December. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Okay. So if I've already had somebody who had a question, she couldn't remember if she'd ordered the 3-month or the 1 month, please send me an email. I'm happy to clear that up for you, and I'd rather do that than you accidentally buy an extra by mistake. But I will go ahead and show the June colorway. The June colorway was the first one that was offered with a mini skein. I don't have any mini skeins left because I sent out a couple extras. But the mini skein is not repeatable. So it doesn't matter anyway because you can't get it anymore. But the colorway is repeatable, so it will be available July, August, September, October, in October. So this is what it looks like. And the inspiration photo for this month was an illustration, it was actually a GIF that I found of Harry cooking Dudley breakfast on his 11th birthday in the first book. I think it's the second chapter. Right before they go to the zoo and he unleashes the boa constrictor, the python on Dudley. So I took the inspiration directly from the image. It's kind of pale green and blue with some pops of yellow, pink, and purple. And I wanted it to have micro speckles, kind of like sprinkles on a birthday cake. So that, come on.
You going to say what the colorway name is?
Yeah, I am. Thank you. It's called 37 Presents. And of course, it is named after the exchange that Dudley has with his mom, where he almost pitches a tantrum because he has 2 fewer presents than he had last year. So,
that is the definition of brat.
Yes. That is what it looks like, kind of like sprinkles on a birthday cupcake. This one has a lot of purple. A lot of them have more of the pink. Maybe the pink's hidden in there because there's some pink up here.
Yeah, because I see some pink hidden.
Yeah. The mini skein was a very bright pinky purple that went with that perfectly. So this is my skein, or actually I have a handful of skeins I might pick from, but I'm going to do a pair of twisted stitch socks, I think. But I'm going to do it closer whenever the colorway is released, because I hate to be knitting with something and someone's like, oh, I love that, can I get it? And I'm like, not yet. So I'll probably knit those at the end of the year.
Makes sense.
But that was June's colorway, and it has a regular label because it is not part of the Harry Potter Club because all the clubs have gone out. So speaking of clubs, I am dyeing July's club right now. Those are set to go out, of course, on time as usual. I don't think I've ever been late once.
You've always been on time.
Yeah. I've done the Harry Potter Club since last March. So a year and a while. But it's really important for me that if somebody pre-orders something, they get it on time. So that's like, I drop everything to do the Harry Potter Club on time. But they do go out around the 15th, sometimes the 16th, sometimes the 14th, depending on how the days fall. If the 15th is a Sunday, they go out on the Monday. But that is the Harry Potter Club for this month. So August slots are in the shop right now. Again, if you are confused, or if you have a question as to whether or not you've ordered the 3-month and don't need to order August, then please let me know, and I'll be happy happy to check that for you.
The easiest way to contact you is by email?
Email, please, yeah. Teenybuttonstudio@gmail.com.
Because I know it's hard. Sometimes you'll get Instagram messages, and it's easier just to keep everything in one place.
Yeah. The thing about Instagram messages is that if somebody tags me in a story, or if somebody, like people leave me comments, and that's really nice, and I reply to everybody, but it means that stuff gets pushed down. It's just harder to keep track of. It's just easier. All the business stuff goes to the email. So that's just the way that I prefer. You can contact me via Ravelry, but I don't check Ravelry as often as I check my email or my Instagram. So I really do prefer email, please. So
it just makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have.
Yep, I think so.
So next time we're going to try to record on...
Before we leave. Don't know the date.
The 15th, 16th, 14th, 15th, 16th.
Before we go to SSA.
At some point, yeah. And at that point, we'll talk about Denver, because we have so much more stuff. So much more yarn.
A couple of yarn stores.
Yeah, we had a yarn store a day almost.
Yeah, Philip was very patient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but we have footage, we have yarn, we'll show that. We just didn't want a 2-hour episode, so.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that will be in a couple of weeks. We hope that you enjoyed watching this episode, and we are excited to show you what we have next time. We will see you then.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.